Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We got a good one for you as always. Here's what we got. Today the Senate will be holding a public hearing, or that's on Monday, with Brett Kavanaugh and his accuser. The GOP is waging war on that accuser. It's coming, and it's very intense. And it came exactly as I predicted in my video yesterday. Donald Trump is losing it. Donald Trump Jr., that is also losing it over Brett Kavanaugh. Trump is ordering a sprawling release of Russia probe documents and text. Fox News hires Ben Shapiro, and Michael Bloomberg may run for president. Oh, we'll take a look at the possible voter base for him and a little bit of our custom explorative style. So yeah. According to New York Times, Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford, the accuser of Kavanaugh having a sexual incident a sexual assault, I should say, when they were teenagers, Kavanaugh and Ford will be testifying next Monday. This is going to delay Kavanaugh's confirmation vote, which is scheduled for this Thursday. Judge Kavanaugh looks forward to a hearing where he can clear his name of this false allegation. He stands ready to testify tomorrow if the Senate is ready to hear him, so White House spokesman Raj Shah says. So that's pretty much where it's going on. So yeah, the Senate Judiciary Committee will be holding a public hearing with Supreme Court nominee and the woman who was accused of sexual assault, Christine Blasey Ford. So pretty much what happened is, if you don't know, and I'm sure you guys already know, when they were in high school, they were at a party, and Kavanaugh was stumbling drunk, physically attacked her, everything, really tried to force himself in a very aggressive way, and even put his hand on top of her mouth. Just very, very disturbing stuff. And you would think, I mean, probably if this happened like 5 years ago, it would have been a lot bigger deal than if it had happened like 35. But still, there's a lot of outrage about it. And the question is, will he survive this? And it's going to be important that she gets her story out there without being just absolutely slammed here by the very creepy folks. Some of those senators on the Senate Judiciary Committee, you do not trust to go all like Anita Hill on her. So it's a little bit disturbing, to say the least, about what will she have to go through once she gets on there. So, so if it takes a little delay, then it'll take a little delay. Trump said it will, I'm sure, work out very well. Ford's attorney said she was also willing to testify in front of the committee. Kavanaugh had a call scheduled with staffers on the committee for 5:30 p.m. today. In the statement, 10 Democratic members of the committee unanimously opposed the call. Republican senators began to defend Kavanaugh against the allegations on Monday. Senator Orrin Hatch claimed that Kavanaugh had told him he wasn't at the party when he allegedly assaulted Ford. If I recall it correctly, I wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. So yeah, and there's always a question about whether he calls it correctly. You're talking about Orrin Hatch. He's like literally 95 years old. So maybe the memory isn't all there, but I'm pretty sure like there are people to back it up, and there I think a friend already came out and support her, but I'm not sure. And of course, everyone's coming out. Every single woman Kavanaugh ever met is like, "Oh, he's fine," but yeah, which gives you the sense that hasn't done this year after year after year after year, and he's not like a chronic abuser, which is very good, but still, it doesn't really matter in this case. I'm going to be honest. I believe him. Hatch said when he says he wasn't at the party, he's a person of immense integrity. I've known him for a long time. He's been a straightforward, honest, truthful, and very, very decent man. All right, so that's his take on the matter. We don't really know. There's so much to not really. This is very much a developing story, but the key is to hear what the Democrats are going to throw at him, because the Republicans, like, when you throw at him, because there was people, like, the thing was, this vote should have been really delayed anyway, because they were going to delay it before this whole story came out. Remember, because he lied like 6 times to the committee about his past record, which is like a big problem. It's not something you're supposed to do when you're under oath in the Senate. Like, he literally perjured himself, and the fact that he's going to go on kind of unchallenged there was a little bit disturbing. And then this whole thing kind of came out, and then really everyone, it looks like, had to take a halt. But still, like, there was a lot of problems with him before that, about some of his records, some of the things with documents, something with presidential power, that a lot of Democrats had some serious questions over. So it's very good that he's again going to see some real resistance here, at least for the time being. Until, I mean, I think we can trust pretty much the Democrats to stop for a pretty good, a very relatively long period of time. So, which is a little bit disturbing. And here's the thing: I'm just going to talk for a bit. As Brett Kavanaugh's alleged accomplice has spent years trying to discredit rape accusations online. Over the weekend, Christine Blasey Ford, as we know, went on record to accuse Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of attempting to sexually assault her when they were in high school. Since then, Kavanaugh's relationship with Mark Judge, the high school friend of Kavanaugh's, who Ford alleges was in the room during the incident, has come under some scrutiny. In Ford's account, it was Judge jumping on both of them that allowed her to escape. So Judge is a conservative author who has written for publications like the Daily Caller, the American Spectator, and published the book Wasted: Tales of a Gen X Drunk, in which he describes his experience as a teenage alcoholic. Ford alleged that Judge and Kavanaugh were both stumbling drunk at the time of the incident. In Weekly Standard, though, Judge did deny the events ever take place. In his book, Judge describes someone named Brett Kavanaugh puking after drinking too much. Bart Kavanaugh. That's the thing, according to Mother Jones. So yeah, Bart Kavanaugh did puke apparently after he drank too much when he was younger, apparently, which is a little bit amusing. Bart Kavanaugh. I wonder. Yeah, so Judge's controversial writings include a 2012 Daily Caller column, about his bike getting stolen and the very high odds the thief was a black man. A piece he wrote in 2006 on Political Maven starts out with an incendiary question. You're thinking it even if you don't say it. Are gay people perverts? I never thought it. No, actually. As several journalists on Twitter point out, Judge has also spent a significant amount of time questioning other accounts of sexual assault and asserting deeply gross ideas about sexuality, including suggesting that clothing choice could incite rape as well. Yeah, wow. So, saying, for the days that when President George W. Bush gave his wife Laura a loving but firm pat on the backside in public. The man knew who was boss, which is very disturbing. That's one of his quotes from, I think, it's a Daily Caller album column there. Very disturbing. So, so here's what he also goes on to say. So of course there's never any excuse to rape anyone, but it's possible to have two seemingly contradictory thoughts to be both equally true. There's never an excuse to rape, a crime that I think is almost akin to murder, because the rapist kills a part of the human soul. Yet when the women wear their body language also sends signals about their sexuality. If a woman at her computer in Starbucks is, as Drew Warren argues, sending out signals by the way she is sitting, the women who dress like prostitutes are also sending out signals. So yeah, so a whole bunch of like, wow, I mean, if you dress like that, wow. And then, so here's another one. Every man who's fit to live has his own stories about time, like a hard case character. Of course, a man must be able to read a woman's signals. I mean, enough about the signals, please. He's also written that he has a big crush about Sarah Palin. He also said the murder of Martin Luther King had nothing to do with the assassination, but that black revolutionaries combined with broken homes and juvenile delinquency to cause fire and looting. Very strange. let's see. And then, of course, he just writes a bunch of creepy stuff about Sarah Palin. The woman's dead sexy. That's the most obvious thing about her. And also, she calls raw, fertile, wild Alaska woman's sexuality of Palin is of a different degree. Jesus, calm down, man. Oh, God. She's going in on Sarah Palin. He's going in on Sarah Palin. He's also posted a bunch of weird music videos to his account. Yeah, it's pretty much what's going on there. So, yeah, I feel a little bit dizzy right now. So that's pretty much what's going on with his weird fan. Oh, yeah. And he also said his yearbook quote was, some women should be struck many times like a gong. Like, what? Anyway, we got to move on. All right, so we now turn on to the response of the GOP to this news, as after taking sexual assault allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh in public in the Washington Post over the weekend, Christine Blasey Ford found herself the subject of an emerging smear campaign on Monday, led by top Republicans in Washington who are dedicated to getting Kavanaugh onto the court above all else. It started in earnest with Senator Orrin Hatch, the Republican of Utah, who told CNN that Kavanaugh had assured him, "I didn't do that," and he wasn't even at the party when the alleged assault occurred. Okay. I mean, that probably wasn't the strongest. It wasn't any, real character attacks on Blasey Ford, but just saying, well, yeah, Christine Blasey Ford is just making stuff up. I guess that is a character attack, but, I mean, she said he said war, that's probably going to happen at one point or another. But the thing is, it's just too annoying. It's just literally, it's too disturbing, and it's too sketchy to when you're looking at the facts here. The guy who sent this entire past week just straight up lying to the Senate, and I mean lying to the Senate, versus the person who has literally everything to lose and is going to get risk again being character assassinated by every single person on the right wing, threatened, whatever. Yeah, she's probably got death threats in her house already. Hatch went on to say Ford must be mixed up about a story in which she describes a high school age Kavanaugh drunkenly holding her down, groping her, covering her mouth when she tries to scream. All those icky details there, very disgusting stuff. When pressed on whether she believes Ford, he believes Ford, a research psychologist from California, Hatch replied, "I think she's mistaken. This must be all evoke a feeling of deja vu for the senator who infamously worked very hard to discredit the Anita Hill allegations of sexual misconduct. Yep, he's been around that long, against Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. During his confirmation hearings, Hatch complained that Hill was called to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee fairly late in the process, making note of the excuse for later use, because he used it. That's pretty much the point is, and he insisted the law professor's story just does not add up. This afternoon, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's wisely made it his mission during his hopeful waning time on this planet to pack the federal courts with conservative judges, laid more groundwork for the Republicans' war on Ford from the Senate floor. As you might expect, McConnell read Kavanaugh's statement denying the accusations in full before turning to attack the Democrats, and particularly Dianne Feinstein, who kicked this whole thing off by cryptically confirming she was in possession of allegedly condemned information by Kavanaugh, though she stressed the person involved had requested anonymity. So, now, at this 11th hour, with committee votes on schedule, after Democrats have spent weeks and weeks searching for any possible reason the nominee should have been delayed, now, they choose to reveal this allegation, McConnell said. Yeah, so that's pretty much that's pretty much probably the constant refrain that you're going to hear on this guy. So it's just it's all going to be about Dianne Feinstein and how she didn't want to release the thing. And yeah, so here is the you heard the impersonation. Now you're going to hear the real thing.
Now, on a final matter, Mr. President, it's been 70 days since the President nominated Judge Brett Kavanaugh to fill the current vacancy on the Supreme Court. For more than 2 months, the Senate has pored over Judge Kavanaugh's professional record.